Okay, so this would be for an open account. I don't know when you would just do an open account as a standalone, but also grossly misunderstood. I almost always do it as the third account after explaining the RSP and the TFSA. But if you had to do a standalone, which I guess I have when people, this is when I use it, when people are about to get a big lump of money, inheritance, sale of a rental property, cottage, something like that, and they say, well, I don't know what to do with the money because my RSP is maxed out and my TFSA is maxed out. And they don't have the concept of we have the open account. I would say that's probably happened 10 times where I've said, okay, well, we do have a strategy here. So then I draw the RSP, I draw the TFSA, and then I say, okay, we also have the open account. And we use this when your RSP and your TFSA are maxed out. I always do the no limits. And if it's prospect, I always give the big example. I say we have people with whatever, 8 million in an open account. You can have as much as you want. So then I say you put your money in, there's no refund. Then you can choose the exact same investments that you have in your RSP and your TFSA. The money grows, but when you withdraw, you do pay some tax. The tax that you pay is not income tax, like when you withdraw from your RSP. It's not like when you earn money from a job, but it's based on these investments. So it depends what investments we chose. If we chose GICs in here, you would be earning interest and that would be taxed as income. So the tax that is charged is based on what you earn here. If we choose a mutual fund, then you could have capital gains, you might have dividends, depending on the fund. So then I say capital gains and dividends are both taxed much lower than income tax or interest income. So what we want to do, preferably, is to hold anything that's going to earn interest in your RSP and your TFSA because the tax is deferred. But in your open account, we want capital gains or dividends because the tax is much lower. So you're going to pay some tax, but it's not going to be the same as when you withdraw from your RSP. So depending how big the open account is going to be, like if it's a small one, I'm going to say minimal tax. If it's a big one, I'm going to say some tax here. And then if depending the sophistication of the client, I'll say you'll get a T3 or a T5. So it's not the same as a T4. You'll get a T3 or a T5 at tax time. Also, depending on the sophistication of the client, I'll explain you could deduct the fees in your open account. You can't deduct the fees in your RSP or your TFSA. So the fees in here could be a write-off if we choose the investments that way. So there's an option for that, that the fees could be a write-off. So depending sophistication, I'll say that means that you will save money at tax time. Other people understand, but for some people, you need to add that extra sentence. That means that you're going to save money. Can be deducted. So depending how much is going into that open account and what it's coming from, then I'll also explain. So for instance, the people that inherited $1 million last week, they want to buy a new vehicle. And he said, well, we'll just take the money out of the open account. And I said, well, instead of you taking $80,000 out to buy a new truck, what we can do is send you a monthly payment. So if your truck payment is going to be $900, we'll just send you $900 a month out of that open account so that you don't have a truck payment. It's coming for you. So we can structure it. And if it's somebody close to retirement, I say, this is where we would start withdrawing for your retirement. We'll send you the monthly amount. It's going to be like a paycheck. So people don't understand that they can get that sort of paycheck style. They think if my money is invested, either A, I can't touch it, or B, I have to take out a lump sum. So it's very important, I think, that arrow and the monthly income so that they grasp that. The girl that is getting the insurance $1 million, she said, well, I want to eventually build a house, so I'll have a mortgage payment, and I don't want to have a mortgage payment, so I'll take the money out of the open account. I said, well, no, we'll keep your money invested. We'll just send you the mortgage payment every month. So I use the open account to keep money here, and so that they understand that they can have an income from it. And then I always do the, and we'll top up your TFSA and your RSP each year from the open account. And depending how much is coming, I'll say, think of this as like this pot that can receive as much money as you can throw at it, and then we'll allocate it to the accounts to keep you as tax efficient as possible. Questions?
I've never even thought about that.
Which part?
The pulling out a certain amount a month to pay for things.
Oh.
Have you thought about that? You know what that is?
You'd have to compare, like, see what the interest rate is on the truck.
And I did say that.
Yeah.
I said depending on the interest rate, but for a long time, car payments were at 0%.
Yeah. Doesn't
So
make
for
sense
people to take
lump
money
sum.
out, it did not make sense. Yeah, it's a comparable, but people love it.
Mm.
And then you say, okay, well, your truck payment is on the 25th. We're going to put the money in your account on the 23rd, and you're not going to feel it. That I would say the most, by far, the times that I use the standalone open is when people are going to receive money and they don't know what to do with it. And then you show them this, and then they get it. Well, yes, the one with the firms.
Yes.
She had no idea, right? Like, she had an RSP, she had a TFSA. She's like, I'm getting all this money, I don't know what to do.
Are there any other frequently asked questions that come up from this? You talk about this?
People want to understand the tax. I'd say don't think about it. We'll pick, when we choose your investments, we'll talk about the tax implications of each choice. And then there's some people that truly understand their capital gains every year, like Lois. She's all over that. She wants to know, because she's had a significant open account and paid quite a bit of tax. And I'll say, I'll give you an estimate of your capital gains at the end of every year, so you know. But now she's getting used to it. She was paying huge amounts at the bank where she was at, and now she's like, okay, it's 3,000, it's 1,300, it's pretty minimal. So she's getting used to it, but she's still a little, with some stock portfolios, they're churning a lot, like they're buying and selling a lot more than we do. So sometimes the capital gains are significant, and sometimes the dividends are significant too, especially with the older people. So if they're coming from a bank, we are so much more efficient. Like Mary with the giant bank of GICs all held in an open account was enough to take her private school teacher salary of $24,000 a year up to $90,000 a year. She's like, well, I had to start paying so much tax because of my investments. I said, okay, this is not necessary. And then I explained this to her, and she's like, why was I holding GICs here? I said, why were you? I don't know. So.
Any other questions
No.
that people ask?
I think that's it.
How often do you go into the taxes when you're going over this particular
If I'm doing the big
diagram?
one, I just say some tax or minimal tax. I don't get into the different types. If somebody is more sophisticated, then I'll get into this, but this would be not very often. Maybe 20% of the time when I would be explaining an open account. Because people don't understand the difference between capital gains and dividends and interest income. Their account, I just say, you will have some tax.